The Dallas Mavericks have traded Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. This is the most inexplicable trade we have seen in the history of the league, maybe sports as a whole. My immediate reaction to this, like the rest of everyone else, was shock. I jumped up holding my head in disbelief. Twitter said that Shams of ESPN was hacked. I, of course, believe this, because there's just no way the Mavericks would trade their once-in-a-franchise type player at 25 years old. But here we are. First off, there really isn't a good and justifiable explanation for this on the side of the Mavericks. We know the talent that Doncic is. What he has accomplished already has been so impressive. He came into the NBA with an already basketball Hall of Fame level career and has since racked up 5 All-Star appearances and 5 All-NBA appearances. Been a perennial MVP candidate and led his team to the NBA Finals. You hold on to this caliber of player for dear life and you don't let go, unless they are pried from your hands. You do everything in your power to build a championship squad around them as fast as you can and keep that intact for as long as you can. Not give them up a season after they lead you to your first finals appearance in over a decade. Despite this, Nico Harrison, the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, has attempted to explain this. He stated that he believes defense wins championships, and bringing in a defender of Davis's caliber is what the team needed more than what Luka Doncic has provided on the court for them for the last 7 seasons. Now, as much as it is true that this is a very dumb move by the Mavs, let's try to entertain this as a sensible move just for a second. First off, we cannot forget just how good Anthony Davis is. At his best, he is a force on offense that few teams have the personnel to deal with, especially when the jump shot is hitting. And on defense, he's one of the best ever. A terrifying rim protector who can absolutely step out and guard as well. And as I try my hardest to understand this for Dallas, I first considered that maybe they simply thought this was a better fit. As we know, the team brought in Kyrie Irving some time ago to pair with their ex-superstar point guard in Luka Doncic. But with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis being the more traditional, potentially more ideal pairing of a guard and a big, compared to a guard with a guard, maybe Dallas liked this pairing more. But again, this justification falls apart pretty immediately in my head once I remember who we are talking about here. You don't trade one of the best ever at his young age for fit purposes. Especially considering the fact that this same guard-to-guard star pairing led you to the NBA Finals this past June, and we saw just how good they could be together, as they dismantled a defense like Minnesota's, which was elite last season. A lot of people are also saying that this was a move for the short term, but saying that kind of assumes that this Mavericks team has been struggling and wanted a more win-now situation. But again, they just went all the way. Secondly, the most reported piece of information and what seems to be the leading cause for the Mavs' decision to part with Luka Magic is his poor conditioning and inability to stay in shape. Of course, for basketball, staying in shape is so important, but this being the reason you send off Luka Doncic is nothing but laughable. And I really shouldn't even be entertaining this for even a second. But as we know, and unfortunately for the Mavs, this trade cannot be undone. So let's look at it for what it is. Where exactly does this leave Dallas? As much as I, along with the rest of the sports world, have trashed the Dallas management for this move, I actually really like this team. Davis gives you a legitimate top 5 to 7 player in the league and a go-to guy come playoff time. I legitimately think Kyrie Irving is one of the best scorers ever. You look at his pure shooting as a near 40% three-point shooter across 14 seasons with a deadly mid-range game, which he can get to whenever he wants without he has that rock on a string at all times. We talk about the ambidexterity of Kyrie Irving as a finisher. Whatever hands, whatever angle, he can find a way to get the ball in the bottom of the basket in close. This combined with the force that AD is down low, and again we know what he can be as a mid-range shooter, leaves me very excited and very hopeful for this Dallas duo. And we have already gotten to see what the big man will provide for this squad. As for the role players, we have guys like PJ Washington, who I like. He can do some things with creating a shot near the basket and on drives, while being a 38% three-point shooter this season. Daniel Gafford is everything you want in a role-playing center, scary lob threats, surefire finishing, with a great shot-blocking ability. And you think about the fact that Anthony Davis prefers to play the 4 and next to another big, and you begin to imagine just how hard of a time teams will have trying to get one shot off in the Mavericks' painted area for the foreseeable future. Scary. Klay Thompson isn't who he used to be, but still solid. I'm not mad at Spencer Dinwiddie as the third creator. I really like Najee Marshall in New Orleans, and he provides a lot of great stuff for the team. Derek Lively as a backup center and another option to play next to AD is great when he returns from injury, as well as other bench guard wing options like Max Christie and Dante Exum. So as much as I'm killing the team for this move, I think they will still be great, and I can't wait to see what they can do come playoff time. Now let's flip the script and look at things from the Lakers' perspective. This side of things is a lot more simple. If you see the Mavericks calling and you're hearing them offer this type of 25-year-old MVP caliber player, you take him. No questions asked. Whether they believed in what they had this season so far with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Austin Reeves as a top 5 seed in the West or not, you're going to have a change of plans. And this is a pretty good pivot for your organization. And this type of pivot is a real long-term decision with the youth of Doncic. But speaking more in the short term, I'm just ecstatic to see a Luka Doncic, LeBron James-led offense. How does this look? Just how masterful can a duo be as minds of the game? I think we're about to find out. LeBron James has been a basketball mastermind on top of a physical phenomenon for 22 seasons, and in year 22, he's as sharp as ever. Luka Doncic has had some of the most responsibility as an offensive generator that we have ever seen, and time after time, he rises to the occasion when his team needs him the most. What type of plays will they be able to run? What will the coaching huddle conversations sound like mid-game? What can they teach each other? It will all be so fascinating with these two talents, and I'm ready. When you look at elite playmakers like these two, they can do such great things with and for a good big. Someone to pick and roll with, ideally a good lob threat. And when you look at this Lakers roster, this is just what they are missing. When they had Anthony Davis rostered, they needed more size inside. And now with him gone, this problem is only amplified, with Jackson Hayes now as their starting 5. Recently, the team made a trade for Charlotte Hornets center Mark Williams, who I love. Williams is great at making himself available on offense, and he does a great job finding different ways to finish inside while being great on the offensive glass. Him and LaMelo Ball have been great for one another when they have shared the court, so you can only imagine how good he would be with these two. Well, unfortunately, our imagination is all we will have because the Williams move to Los Angeles has been rescinded due to a failure to pass his physical. Wow. So the Lakers' pursuit of a center continues, the only problem being the trade deadline has passed. So as great as this new Lakers duo will be, their hole at center is real. We shall see if they have anything else up their sleeve. Again, this is the most inexplicable trade in NBA history. There was no reason to move on from Doncic for the Mavs. But if you're the Lakers, you are just so thankful. New beginnings in LA. But what do you think? Who won this trade? What team do you like better come playoff time? Do the Lakers get a center? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. This has been Rashad with Hoops Times 2. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. I plan to be a lot more consistent. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you all next time. Peace out.